can he do there? Kevin Sullivan pulled something out of that box, and it seemed like he got right in the chest. I see there's a lot of blood coming from the chest of Blackjack Mulligan.
To be a king, you have to kill a king. Well, today, the head of the family, Bill.
Welcome to Championship Wrestling from Florida. I'm Coach John Heath, sitting in for Gordon Sully this week. And Barbara, another interesting Take 5.
That's right. It's the third week of our series, Miami Crisis in Paradise, and we're going to be seeing some sights in Miami and be talking with Dusty Rhodes and Frank Bosch at the Orange Bowl.
Thank you, Barbara. And buddy, really big news from you today.
That's right, Coach. The biggest news in the wrestling world right now is that there is a new World's Heavyweight Champion before a crowd of 40,000 people in Texas Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Kerry Von Erich defeated Ric Flair for the World's Heavyweight Championship. That was May 6th, Sunday in Texas. So we now have a new champion. And Coach, I believe you know a little bit about the athletic background of Kerry Von Erich. He's just a great athlete.
Fantastic athlete. He's about 6'2", 241 pounds, muscular young man. And you know, he followed his father's footsteps as far as being a great discus thrower. His dad set the discus championship for the United States, and then Kerry came along and set it for the Texas while he was in high school. And he's a fantastic athlete, and I think he may prove to be a great champion.
That's right. You know, and Coach, a big main event for today that nobody's going to want to miss. The main event that will fill any stadium is Dusty Rhodes going up against the Purple Haze. So stay tuned and see this great main event today.
That would fill any arena in the country. I see our first match is about to begin, and I'll do the introductions from the desk here. Our referee for today is Bill Alfonso. This is a one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Wearing the black international is Wild Bill Snyder. He is in the close corner. And in the far corner in black trunks is Mike Rotundo. Boy, this could be quite a match here. We've got a man who was 2 times AAU national champion, but we have an aggressive and fired up Wild Bill Snyder. And buddy, you know how it is when you get that opportunity to go up against the very top competition, make a name for yourself. You're going to go in there and you're going to give out 150%. In fact, that adrenaline flows a little harder this time, and it makes you sometimes surpass even your best efforts.
That's right, Coach. I've always said the only way to get to the top in professional wrestling or any sport is to go against the best. Wild Bill Snyder's been around for several years, and he has greatly improved since I first saw this man. He is, however, like you just said, going up against one of the very finest, Mike Rotundo, and Barry Windham, of course, having held the United States Tag Team title, and they are both very anxious to try and get a match against the current title holders. Right now, it seems like the way for Wild Bill Snyder to break out of this hold is to force Mike Rotundo into the ring ropes, but it didn't do him very much good.
Well, he got that Italian temper upset there a little bit, and he's the wrong man to get upset. One of the great attributes and talents that Mike Rotundo has is the use of his hips. His ability to use the hips for leverage and heist balance against most of his opponents. A lot of people don't realize this, but most of your throws from a standing position and even lever locks from the base position is your ability to use the hips, and this is only done by the very, very advanced wrestler. I see Snyder's got a strong headlock there, but it was countered very successfully by a head scissors by Mike Rotundo. It's a very good match thus far.
Well, that's one thing about Mike Rotundo. He's just a chain wrestler, just a very good fluid motions, going from one hold and maneuver to the next. Always thinking well ahead, seeing whatever counter his opponent might come up with, Mike Rotundo is ready with another counter move. Always on the offensive, never on the defensive, always coming in at his opponent. Right now, it looks like Wild Bill Snyder forced Mike Rotundo into the ropes, which of course calls for a break. Let's see if we get a clean break. No, it looked like Wild Bill Snyder tried a cheap shot by raking Mike Rotundo's eyes. He might have made a mistake, Coach.
Well, he used a snap mare to get Mike out of there, but as you see, he's starting to flow Mike's adrenaline quite a bit, Mike, too, and it's the wrong guy to get flowing. Mike is so strong, big. He's about 6'2", 242 pounds. One of the greatest amateur or collegiate-style wrestlers that we have ever developed in this country, and Fever is in for a lesson. Now he's got a beautiful cover. Rotundo has got him actually in a top Nelson with what we call a double hook cover, and Wild Bill Snyder came out of it. And there we had what we call a wing over series. Wild Bill Snyder took him over, but Rotundo, by hanging on, did a wing over drop on him, and that sometimes we call it an extra counter, but it actually is a wing over.
Very well, they rolled into the ropes, and the referee called for a break, and they're up starting over. Here, they are just very cautiously circling one another. Looks like Mike Rotundo is going down for a leg dive, a leg pickup, and of course you notice where Mike Rotundo keeps his weight on Wild Bill Snyder as much as possible, which makes it a little bit harder for Wild Bill Snyder to breathe, uses up his oxygen, uses up his energy, which of course you can't do very much if you don't have that oxygen flowing through your bloodstream. You see he's got his weight on, he's got his leg grapevine here, and a quarter Nelson around Wild Bill Snyder's head.
He's really got a top half on there with a leg tie up there, and you talk about cutting off the wind. That hold, as employed by Mike Rotundo and Dory Funk Jr., really closes it off, and it's so frustrating. And I'll tell you, you can panic on that hold because you think you're going to suffocate while you're in that match. Lucky to get out of there.
That's right. Well, it looks like Wild Bill Snyder made a bad mistake right there. He charged in at Mike Rotundo. Mike Rotundo sidestepped, and subsequently Wild Bill Snyder injured himself momentarily by hitting that hard turnbuckle. And here's Mike Rotundo with a front chancery on Wild Bill Snyder, and always kind of leaning into Wild Bill, putting his weight on him. You always notice the mark of a good wrestler will use every advantage that he has to wear down his opponent.
Well, Snyder's probably starting to panic a little bit here. He's starting to go back to, this usually means curtains for an opponent here, buddy.
Well, it looks like it's going to be all over for Wild Bill Snyder.
Well, there's your winner, and it is, of course, Mike Rotundo. We'll be right back, and we'll have Buddy Colt interviewing Mike Rotundo.
Big matches Wednesday night, May 16th at the Miami Beach Convention Center. Headlining the card will be the newly crowned World Heavyweight Champion Kerry Von Erich, defending his title against superstar Billy Graham. Now let's go to Barbara Calleri for a few words.
Miércoles 17 de mayo a las 8 de la noche en el Centro de Convenciones en Miami Beach, la lucha libre de campeones presentará para el título del mundo Kerry Von Erich contra Superstar Graham y 6 luchas más. Miércoles 16 de mayo a las 8 de la noche en el Centro de Convenciones en Miami Beach.
U.S. Tag Team title match with Dusty Rhodes and Barry Windham going up against the Tag Team champions Cowboy Ron Bass and Black Bart, along with their manager, the Panama Gang. And there's going to be a Florida title match with no disqualification. Billy Jack going up against Molokai. And Dusty Rhodes will be bull rope to Kevin Sullivan. A special attraction, Mike Rotundo versus Kevin Sullivan. I have with me at the desk right now Billy Jack, who will be going up against Molokai, defending his Florida title.
Hi, buddy. I don't really know who Molokai is. Kevin Sullivan's had like Buzz Sawyer. I think he's floating around outer space somewhere. You know, he was playing a few cards deck short of a full deck. You got Karma. I don't know where he's at. You got this Molokai. Sounds Hawaiian to me. I don't know. I think he's overdosed on some beetle nuts, to be real truthful with you. But whoever this Molokai is, I'm the Florida Heavyweight Championship, and I'm ready all the way. And I know Dusty Rhodes is going to be roped to Kevin Sullivan, so I don't have to worry about Kevin Sullivan. So all the way, baby. We're going to hang in there. The Florida title's going to stay around my waist because with Dusty there, I'm not going to lose no ways.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting match, particularly with Dusty Rhodes. Bull rope to Kevin Sullivan. This will assure that Kevin Sullivan will not interfere in the match. Molokai is a wrestler that I have seen in the company of Kevin Sullivan, but I have not seen him in action. So there's going to be some big matches in Miami Beach. Okay, there are several things today that I would like to ask Mike Rotundo about. One, Mike, is that you and Barry Windham held the United States Tag Team title quite successfully. You have lost that. Another thing that is very important is, you know, now Kerry Von Erich is the new World's Heavyweight Champion. And I know that you are really wanting and looking forward to having a match with Kerry.
You know, I've seen some tapes on Kerry Von Erich, buddy, and he's an outstanding, finely conditioned athlete. And I'm looking forward. I'll wrestle the man any place, any town, any arena in this country, especially in the state of Florida. I'm looking forward. I'm looking at a contract, talking to the NWA right now, and that's what I'm looking forward.
What about your plans with Barry Windham for regaining the United States Tag Team title?
As you said, you know, Barry and I, we thought defended the title successfully, and now we've lost him, but we have to come back. And Barry and I are a strong team, I believe, in the eyes of the public and ourselves. We're looking forward to the re-title match with Ron Bass and Black Bart, and I hope to take those belts from him.
You know, another thing, going back just a week ago to a little incident that happened here when you were more or less in a situation where you couldn't defend yourself, and Mike Davis apparently was coming out to try and help you, and all of a sudden it seemed like he looked at Kevin Sullivan, and Kevin looked right back at him, and he just completely froze. He stopped.
You know, I've talked to Mike Davis. We worked out all this week together, and I've come across situations in everyday life and as an athlete where I've froze, where I've come out, and later on I thought about the situation and I should have done something, and that's exactly how Mike felt. And to me, there's no hard feelings, because if everything in life was run smooth, there'd be no problems, but there's no problem between Mike and I, and it was just the way it happened, and that's the way it is. You know, it just happened.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that. I've heard people ask me about that, and now you have the explanation from Mike Rotundo. Okay, we have another match coming up in the ring, so let's go to the ring and to Coach Heath for the introduction.
Thank you, buddy.
Second match is about to begin. This match will be a one fall, 10-minute time limit. And your principals in the far corner, wearing a black international, will be Mike Fever. His opponent in black and gold trunks, Kevin Sullivan.
Well, Coach, it seems like Kevin Sullivan always has something new. There is a man with him at ringside who goes under the name of Molokai. I have never seen this man before, never heard of him. Seems like Kevin Sullivan always comes out. Looks like Kevin Sullivan is trying to make short work of Mike Fever.
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people overlook the wrestling talents of Kevin Sullivan because of the fact that he's always so wild and unpredictable in that ring and uses so many seemingly shortcuts. But he is a very tough competitor, and I've seen him in days when he has done the collegiate style wrestling, and I'll tell you, he can stay with anybody in the ring today as far as coming in and putting on the necessary moves that can make a win out of a match.
Well, you know, Coach, the only thing I can really say about Kevin Sullivan is the man is apparently clinically insane, but he is really, in his own way, a very brilliant individual. Many times when I'm interviewing him or I listen to this man talk, I'm not sure what he's talking about. He's quite effective in the ring. It's very seldom this man ever loses a match. And in professional wrestling, you're out there to make money, and you make money by winning your matches, and Kevin Sullivan does win his matches.
Really, buddy, you're bringing out the fact about his tyrannical powers or whatever it is he possesses. Doesn't this give him actually a twofold advantage over another opponent? There's so much psychology employed in wrestling, even when you're not using tyrannical powers or having the appearance of Sullivan. But then when you are employing those, plus you have the tremendous wrestling talent that this man has within his body, he really has an advantage over a lot of his wrestlers.
He definitely does, Coach. Say this man has power in his body. He has a very powerful mind and brain, just showing that he can manipulate these other people so much. And also today, the Purple Haze is here, who has always been under the power and spell and influence of Kevin Sullivan. Say later on today, the Purple Haze will be wrestling Dusty Rhodes in the main event.
Well, Purple Haze is going to need all the assistance he can get from Sullivan when he goes up against the Lakes. Dusty Rhodes, a 2-time world heavyweight wrestling champion.
Well, there's a big high back suplex where Kevin brought Mike Beaver back into the ring, and looks like Kevin wasn't ready for the pin. He just pulled him up by his hair, wanting to inflict more punishment and damage upon Mike Beaver.
A sadistic streak, and yet more psychology, because he realizes that future opponents were watching in action, and that it's punishment that they can observe here. Beautiful press there with a far leg pickup, and once again, your winner, Kevin Sullivan. We have been joined here at the desk by our present Southern Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Cowboy Ron Bass.
You know, Coach, Buddy Colt, the world is buzzing this morning. A new world champion, one by the name of Kerry Von Erich. Now, as you people know here, before JJ went on tour, he was fortunate enough, and at my demands, I might add, that he signed myself for the World Heavyweight Championship, May 19th in the Sundome. It was supposed to be Ric Flair. Well, people, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been in the gym, I've been training, and I've already lost about 15 pounds. I've been getting myself in the peak of condition. I was getting ready for you, Flair, a tried and experienced world champion. But lo and behold, before I get my shot at you, you go and lose it to some little whip-nosed kid. Somebody, it's not even going to be warm around his waist yet. You understand that, people? He's not even going to be used to wearing this title, and he's going to have to get into the ring with a big cowboy. Now, Buddy Colt, you've been in this a long time. Now, you know what inexperience can do. You can get into the ring with somebody that is an experienced individual, even though you are a fine athlete. Wait just a minute. Let me say this. Kerry Von Erich is probably one of the best athletes that's come along in a long time. The man's about 6'4", 250 pounds. He looks like and moves like a big cat in the ring. But there's one big difference between myself and you, Von Erich. The experience, my friend. And experience is doing what you got to do to get in the ring to win. So I'm going to tell you, Von Erich, I'm going to tell the promotion of Florida Championship Wrestling, NWA, and everybody, Von Erich, you might have been the youngest world champion, my friend, but you're also going to be the shortest-lived one.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Cowboy Ron Bass. He may say a lot, but I've never known him not to be able to back up what he says, and he is our present Southern Heavyweight Champion. That's going to be quite a match, buddy.
It really is. Okay, let's go to the ring for the next match now.
And our next match is a one fall with a 10-minute time limit in the royal blue trunks, weighing 222 pounds, Dennis Brown, his opponent. On a weight of 272 pounds, your Southern Heavyweight Champion in black trunks, Cowboy Ron Bass.
Well, you know, Coach, this match coming at the Sundome on the 19th between Kerry Von Erich and Cowboy Ron Bass, this is going to be some match. Not too many people here in Florida have ever seen the new World Heavyweight Champion, Kerry Von Erich, in action, but he is a great wrestler, and like Cowboy Ron Bass just stated, Ron Bass does have more experience, but you cannot underestimate a man that has defeated Ric Flair. Anybody that defeats Ric Flair has got to be a great wrestler.
Well, in the Sundome on the 19th, you are going to see one of the most amazing young athletes in the world today go up against a big experience and a man who's held many, many titles in Cowboy Ron Bass. It's a match that could produce a new world champion. That's been proven that. Listen, it's been proven that world champion can be beaten on any given night. But of course, I don't count out Kerry Von Erich. What an athlete he is.
Well, you can see Dennis Brown right here just coming right out of the front face lock that Ron Bass had on him, coming up with an armbar and twist. Now there's Cowboy Ron Bass picked Denny Brown up. This showed the superior size and strength where this made had an advantage for Ron Bass, being able to pick up Dennis Brown and body slam him right off. Now he's coming up with a reverse chin lock here.
Bass is so strong, and he uses those power movements so effectively, and most of his effectiveness is from the standing position because he can hoist through the hip power and back power that he has practically any opponent that's in the ring today. And when you're hoisted, you are out of control, and you are at the complete mercy of your opponent. And this guy puts a lot of people at his mercy.
See, and then Ron Bass right now outweighing his opponent by perhaps 60 pounds. You see, once again, he keeps his weight over and above Dennis Brown, trying to use his own weight to wear Dennis Brown out. Dennis Brown just throwing his best punches up to the chest and to the jaw of Ron Bass, having virtually no effect at all. It looked like Dennis Brown was going to try for a backdrop there. Ron Bass very smartly gave him a boot in the chest. And right now it looks like Dennis Brown is in a lot of serious trouble. The Ron Bass is picking him up. Looks like he's going to go for, looks like a vertical suplex coming up, yeah.
That was a strong vertical suplex, and that just may be it, buddy. I tell you, boy, you've got to give 150% to Dennis Brown for the courage that he's exhibiting. And he is one of our most improved young wrestlers that we have in the wrestling game today. And he's not intimidated by anybody. And the experience that he's getting is going to serve him well.
Well, it looked like right there he made a miscalculation. He was thinking or hoping that Ron Bass was closer, and he missed him, came down and went on his face, and this big, powerful Texas Stampede, this is going to be all over for Dennis Brown. And the winner of the match is Ron Bass. Okay, we have something exciting today that's a little bit different. Superstar Billy Graham is going to be out here. Superstar has made a challenge, an arm wrestling challenge to any wrestler that might be in the building at this time. We have had several takers volunteer to take on Billy Graham. Now, Billy, I was just talking that you made an open challenge to any wrestler in the building, and there were several takers. And we
That's
do
it.
have a
I've made an open invitation for weeks upon weeks on this very live telecast to any wrestler, football player, anybody living or alive. And finally, we have a man with some guts to accept Superstar Billy Graham, the official arm wrestling champion of the entire world. Never been beaten, never will. Superstar Billy Graham, the strongest arm, the human python's 22 inches of python, unbendable, unbeatable, raw, pure power. And this man right here has accepted my challenge, a gentleman and a scholar and a fine... What's this man doing out here?
well, maybe
What's this man doing out here, man? What's this man doing out here?
Listen, buddy, you said you made an open challenge to anybody? Well, you didn't come up to me and challenge me. Nothing taken away from this man right here. You're pretty strong, boy. You got some big pythons. Why don't you challenge me, boy?
Listen, the challenge has already been accepted by that man right over there. The challenge has already been signed, sealed, a contract signed. You're a day late and $1 short, my man. Maybe some other day, but not today for you, brother. It's that man over there.
Sorry, Billy, but it seems like he has already chosen Wild Bill Snyder to be his opponent, and maybe he can, like you said, get around to you some other time.
Yeah, maybe some other time.
Get him away from my back.
Okay, let's come over here. We have referee Bill Alfonso is going to officiate this. We have Superstar Billy Graham and Wild Bill Snyder, and the open challenge that Billy Graham made to anyone in his arm wrestling.
Hold it down over there.
There's Billy Graham asking for the people to have a little quiet while he concentrates. They're going for the grip. Referee Bill Alfonso officiating, checking both men to make sure they're ready. And it it looks like superstar Billy Graham is doing this very, very easily.
The champion of the free world, superstar Billy Graham, beat anybody on the face of the earth, living or alive, human being or animal. Nobody can bend the arm of superstar Billy Graham. I am the greatest.
Well, that remains to be seen. It seems like he might have been a little reluctant with Billy Jack. Now let's go to Coach John Heath, who has been joined by Billy Jack.
I've been joined at the desk by the very popular and powerful Billy Jack. He'll be with me during this match. I see we're ready for our next match. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the far corner in black trunks, Chief Joe Lightfoot. His opponent, weighing 255 pounds, superstar Billy Graham.
Okay, there's Chief Joe Lightfoot moving out against superstar Billy Graham. Chief Joe Lightfoot being very fast, very agile, very quick, a good counter wrestler, a good aggressive offensive wrestler. Billy Graham just kind of biding his time right now. And it seems like Billy Graham, since he's come back to Florida this time, has really gone for a lot in the martial arts department.
Yes, he has, and I've noticed there's been a cut down on the weight. He seems to have more definition in the abdominal area. His endurance is probably up. He has speed, strength, size, endurance, and experience. He was world champion, you know. This is one of the great and tough wrestlers that we have in wrestling today.
Right, Billy Jack. I would like to ask Billy a question. Billy, it seems like...
What India Joe Lightfoot's made of right here, partner. You don't mess around with Joe Lightfoot. You take him lightly at all.
Billy, do you think superstar Billy Graham might have been avoiding an arm wrestling confrontation with you?
Well, he said he made an open challenge to everybody. I must have been somewhere where, you know, because he didn't come up to me because I was ready for him, you know. He's a big, strong man. He proved it. I'd like to arm wrestle and see what he's really made of.
Well, it looked like right there was a karate thrust to the throat of Chief Joe Lightfoot. This is highly illegal. If the referee had seen that, of course, it would have been a disqualification. That is an automatic disqualification. But you cannot underestimate superstar Billy Graham. He knew the referee was on the other side, on the blind side of him, and he took advantage of that.
And again, he's caught in that same position. Can't see through the opponent. Now, Joe Lightfoot is just not going to lay down here. He is one of the most exciting and fast and agile wrestlers I have ever seen in the ring. He has made complete vaults off of top ropes that I have never seen equaled anywhere in the world. And no way is he going to lay down here on superstar Billy Graham. Graham is in for a match because Joe Lightfoot also is one of the top competitors that we have in professional wrestling today. And when you have a top competitor in professional wrestling, you have a great athlete in that ring.
Well, you know, it seems like the karate thrust to the throat was what really stopped Chief Joe Lightfoot. That's where the advantage is to superstar Billy Graham, and he really is taking advantage of that.
When you do some esophagus damage in there and you impede any type of air intake, which of course supplies your oxygen, you're cutting down on your overall efficiency.
Here comes Joe.
And as Billy Jack saying, here comes Joe Lightfoot, right on top of Billy Jack, and right on top of superstar Billy Graham. And, out of the ring. There's a disqualification being called for by referee Del Alfonso.
What's the matter with this guy?
And Chief Joe Lightfoot has been smashed into the wall by superstar Billy Graham, who's exhibiting tyrannical strength.
This guy's nuts.
Awful cover right now, and here comes that full note.
Superstar Billy Graham having the strongest and most powerful set of arms with a full Nelson. Nobody's been able to get out. Looks like Billy Jack is going over to the ring. We could see some spark flying here.
Boy, if these two guys ever tie up.
Looks like Chief Joe Lightfoot is completely out of it. Billy Jack going into the ring. Both men, big, strong, and powerful, both having a full Nelson that is cannot be broken. Both men being well-versed in the martial arts. Looks like superstar Billy Graham was the one to bail out.
We'll be right back.
The big main event Wednesday night, May 16th, Miami Beach Convention Center, will be superstar Billy Graham will be going up against the newly crowned World Heavyweight Champion, Kerry Von Erich. Billy Graham, let me ask you this. Are you at least concerned about Kerry Von Erich?
Oh, no. Superstar Billy Graham is not concerned. You understand? Superstar Billy Graham will be the new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Somehow this Kerry Von Erich has slipped his belt off of Ric Flair, you understand? And now Superstar Billy Graham has the opportunity to be the only man in the history of wrestling to hold the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Championship belt, whom I beat Bruno Sammartino for that title, and the National Wrestling Alliance title simultaneously and at the same time. I will make the man fall at my feet. The man is petrified and horrified at the fact that one of his newly duties is to defend his title against the 22-inch pythons of Superstar Billy Graham. I'm shooting right now, and probably by air time, this match will be a no disqualification match, so I can do everything I do illegally, legally, to take the title. You will see the newly crowned Superstar Billy Graham, martial arts champion of the world. Take it away, NWA Superstar Billy Graham. Put money on it. New champion of the world, Superstar Billy Graham.
Well, Billy Graham certainly does have the size, strength, and wrestling ability to become the World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. Now let's go to a pre-recorded interview with Kevin Sullivan and the one-man gang.
Bull rope! Bull rope who? Bull rope me to you, Rhodes? Can you bull rope the wind? Can you hold a tree? Can you hold something you cannot see? Well, when you get to Miami and you go to put that bull rope on me, you know nothing about Molokai. You know nothing about anything anymore. What is the Lord of the Rings?
Miami Beach, the United States Tag Team Champions are coming in the square circle to face the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Pretty Boy, Barry Windham. These men will not lay down and give you these titles. They're going to fight. Every drop of their blood has gone out of their body. They are the champions, and after Miami Beach, they will remain the champions. Tell them about it, Cowboy. Well. Finally, Dusty Rhodes wants to put his name on a contract. What a fool. I took that little protege of his, little Barry Windham, and I beat that kid all over the state of Florida. I wondered, Rhodes, when you were going to stay back there, when you were going to come out and hit the kid a little bit. Was it a little yellow streak down your back or what? Well, never mind anymore, Rhodes. It's going to be you and Windham against myself and Black Bart for these right here. And you better believe, Rhodes, I've waited a long time to get that ugly face of yours back in the ring.
Barry, let me ask you, how do you feel your chances are, you and Dusty Rhodes, of getting that United States Tag Team title?
You know, Mike Rotundo and I have held those belts before, and now I have a partner that's equal, if not better, than any partner I've ever had before. Dusty Rhodes has proven he's twice world champion, and I couldn't have any more faith in a partner than I have in Dusty. In my own family, there's no other way. Nothing else could happen besides winning those belts.
You know, brother, this is the first opportunity that I've had to put my name on the contract with anyone whatsoever for the United States Tag Team titles on this big, prestigious night in Miami. When the world's title comes there and the United States Tag Team title comes. Barry Windham, I've watched him for many years, all the way back. Part of the family. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and Barry Windham going after the United States Tag Team title. Probably the greatest young athlete in this business today is Barry Windham. And Dusty Rhodes, two-time World Heavyweight Champion, as he said, are ready for the competition with Ronnie Bass and Black Bart. And the Panama gang, how you leg here? Are you moving around easy? Running around talking about he's still crippled up, yeah. And I'm going to be in a body cast when he gets well. When he gets well, I'm going to be in a body cast. Hey, one-man gang got to understand that Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, is going to use the figure four leg lock. Barry Windham going to set him up with a famous leg. And the figure four leg lock on Ronnie Bass or Black Bart's big leg. United States titles come back home to Barry Windham and Dusty Rhodes in the state of Florida, Miami Beach.
The big night, May 16th, Miami Beach.
In the far corner in royal blue trunks, Mike Davis. His opponent, he is accompanied to the ring by his manager, Panama Gang. He is the co-holder of the United States Tag Team title, Black Bart.
There you go, Coach and buddy. Let me tell you something. I'm proud to be back here. That old big boy standing in the ring right now, Black Bart, is the one I won my title back from. He defeated me in Indianapolis. No alibis, no excuses. He's from Texas. I understand he's been down here running his mouth off, Coach and buddy, doing a lot of talking.
Well, you know, Blackjack, I'm sure that just like Black Bart gave you a chance to regain the brass knuck title, you will be giving him another chance at that.
Most certainly that brass knucks title is very proud to have it. Everybody knows a lot of action in the ring right now. And Bart can move for a big man. And I'll tell you what I see right here now is this Panama Gang. Last time I was in it, he was in the ring wrestling. I don't understand quite what's going on. Now he's outside the ring.
Well, the reason he's outside the ring, Jack, is that he was in a match with Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and Dusty put that figure 4 leg lock on him, tore some ligaments and cartilage in his knee, and he has been out for about 3 or 4 weeks now. However, the Panama Gang is looking forward to coming back and having another match with Dusty.
Well, buddy, that sounds like a logical alibi for Panama, but that man is over 400 pounds. He has no business having a manager license. I don't know how he got it, Coach, but that old big boy ought to be in the ring there.
Well, I don't know, but I'll tell you, when Dusty Rhodes sticks a figure 4 leg lock on it,
they're going crazy here, Coach.
That leg is going to be broke.
Well, Mike Davis has his arm bar on Black Bart. Black Bart really trying to get away from it, went completely outside the ring. Mike Davis tenaciously just hanging on to it.
There's no way he's going to let go of that arm bar.
It's a real strong bar, and I saw Mike exhibit some nice hip locks on Bart. He's using that bar very effectively right now. However, it's broken up by that knee into the lower abdominal area by Bart, and that does take a lot of the wind out of it.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Coach. And, buddy, I'm very happy to be here today. Look at that Mike Davis. Right over the top, brother. Big match coming up at Dusty Rhodes in Purple Haze. And everybody stay tuned. That's part of what I'm doing here today. So watch his back.
Well, that match would fill out any arena in the entire world. That'll be right here on TV very shortly.
You know, I'm really not too surprised to see the devil back on the scene. I'm a little surprised to see the Purple Haze. I thought he got it done. But as I travel the world, I've been traveling out every corner of the world trying to find an answer to some of the devil's riddles. And now I understand it's Molokai. He's got more lives than a polecat.
Very mysterious person. I don't know that much about him, Blackjack, but I'm sure we'll be exposed to him in the future. Beautiful running.
Hey.
Slam by Mike Davis. Nobody struck in the back by Panama Gang. Going to knock a big effect on this match. Covered with a body press and a cartilage pickup.
Dusty Rhodes is with me with someone who's very important to championship wrestling in Miami.
Well, you know, Barbara, Championship Wrestling in Miami and this beautiful Orange Bowl in the city of Miami, Championship Wrestling in Florida has been here for many years. Mr. Dundee and Mr. Frank Botcher here have been associated for many years with wrestling in Miami area, and he handles the public relations and the PR man for us, and it's a big thing when wrestling comes to town. We have a love affair with Miami and Championship Wrestling of Florida have this love affair, and it will remain this love affair. We're right down here today now talking about Miami, the Orange Bowl, and hoping very soon, in just a month and a half, everything we worked out, that right here in this beautiful Orange Bowl, we will have one of the biggest cards ever in the history of wrestling.
Dusty, I'm so glad you came today. I'm delighted that you came down because I know you've got a love affair with Miami and how much you want to help improve our image. Other people have tried to destroy us, but you're in there punching for us, and I want you to know how much I appreciate your visit. Well, just come back often and longer, will you?
Thank you very much.
Please.
Thank you, Barbara, very much.
Miami is a city with something for everyone. You can see great professional wrestling, not only in the convention center on Wednesday nights, but Wrestling is finally coming to the Orange Bowl. June 30th, Championship Wrestling from Florida will present Lords of the Ring. And also, of course, professional football with the great Miami Dolphins. And certainly you can't mention Miami without thinking of the beaches and the beautiful weather. Tourists are not the only ones who can enjoy the wealth of offerings in the Miami Beach area, but residents and even professional wrestlers such as Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo. When they get the opportunity to relax, what better place than this incredible setting at the Fontainebleau? Miami is indeed a paradise. Our third week of Miami, Christ is our paradise, and that's our take 5 for this week.
Well, here comes the match that we've all been waiting for, and it's one fall, 9-minute time limit. In the far corner, 2 times World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Dusty Rhodes. His opponent is the unknown Purple Haze. He's accompanied to the ring by Kevin Sullivan.
Take a look around the ring here. You got the devil standing outside. You got something standing over here. I don't know what to describe it as. Known as Molokai, I believe, buddy. What would you call this thing over here in the corner?
You know, Jack, I have never seen Molokai before. He's an ominous-looking figure. Looks big, strong, and powerful. I haven't heard him speak. I don't know what nationality he is or where he's from. I have heard very little about this man.
I'll tell you what, it's starting to get rough and tough, and as long as it stays one-on-one there, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay right here. Yeah.
Well, it looks like, the Purple Haze here is trying to bust up a chair.
Everybody.
This is going to be a wild match. Looks like the Purple Haze is trying to make short work of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
That's a tough job to do, make short work. Mr. Industrial 42, 2 times World Heavyweight Champion. He has taken an army to beat that man.
Well, Coach, I don't want to intervene here. As long as it's one-on-one, if it's 2-1, I'll step in. That's Dusty said. Bobby Jackson, stay out there. Watch me. No matter what happens, if it's one-on-one, let it go.
You know, the match is only maybe 1 minute underway, and already the American Dream's head is badly lacerated. Always a snap mare, and down goes the Purple Haze. This big
I'm going to step a little closer to the action, buddy, just to be sure things are right.
I see Blackjack getting a little excited here. We could have an awful lot of action on our hands before this match is over.
It seemed like Blackjack Mulligan wanted to step over close to the ring just in the event that Kevin Sullivan attempted to come to the aid of the Purple Haze. Where Dusty Rhodes does not ever need any assistance from anyone, I think that Blackjack Mulligan just wants to keep an eye on the devil.
Dusty's got a nice forearm on there, on the Purple Haze, and he's applying an awful lot of damage up into those left deltoids and the trap. Here he goes into what we call a double bar, or sometimes it's known as a surfboard. And this not only does tremendous injury up into the shoulder area, but actually it does cut down on your ability to take in oxygen.
You know, it seems like a man like Dusty Rhodes, regardless of how bad he might be injured, this man just has uncanny recuperative powers. That's what makes a man tough. That's what really separates the men from the boys. A man that can stay in the ring and come back against anything. A man like Dusty Rhodes never quits, is never down out until you hear that final bell. But right now, the Purple Haze has been able to come back on top. The Purple Haze, being one of the top wrestlers in the entire world, has traveled throughout the world, always been one of the very best. And now under the complete control of Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan here running around shouting at ringside, keeping a very close eye also on Blackjack Mulligan.
Yes, when you're wrestling up against the Haze and you have Sullivan in the corner, it's almost like going up against 2 opponents with a psychology of one and a muscular talents and ability of the other combined. However, I still think that it takes 3, 4 good men to get on an even keel when you're going against Dusty Rhodes. And, as I said before, 2 times world champion. That exhibits a special quality. Now here comes Mr. Violence back.
You see, look at the agility for a man the size of Dusty, 290 pounds and moves like a lightweight. He has the purple haze tied up in the ring rope. The purple haze right now is virtually helpless. Fortunately for Dusty Rhodes, Blackjack Mulligan is here, or Kevin Sullivan would be interfering. Kevin Sullivan staying well back because of the appearance. Here's a purple haze just dragging Dusty Rhodes out onto the floor. The match is being carried outside onto the floor now.
Boy, this is one of the roughest, toughest matches I have witnessed many, many years. If not the roughest, the toughest.
Oh, wait, Molokai just handed something to Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan attempting to go.
He's got the figure 4 on him, and that broke the leg of Panama Jack. And referee Bill Alfonso is calling for a disqualification of Purple Haze. What in the world did he do there?
Kevin Sullivan pulled something out of that box, and it seemed like he got right in the chest. I see there's a lot of blood coming from the chest of Blackjack Mulligan. He's down!
Amount of damage done into the chest area. Mulligan looks like almost like a shot of some type taken into there. The tremendous opening in his chest area there. It's being taken away by everybody as quickly as possible. We hope we can have a report on this injury. That was one of the most violent confrontations I've ever witnessed in my entire life, buddy.
You know, Coach, it looked like when Dusty Rhodes put this figure 4 leg lock on the Purple Haze, which was the hole that he injured the Panama gang with, put the Panama gang out. Kevin Sullivan was handed something in a box from Molokai, the man he calls Molokai. Kevin Sullivan moved something, looked like he was attempting to attack Dusty Rhodes, and Blackjack Mulligan stepped into the ring, stepped in to try and help Dusty to counteract this, and thusly Blackjack got this in the chest, and here is Kevin Sullivan back at the desk.
Shut up! Bring me the head of the king! To be a king, you have to kill a king! Well, today, the head of the family fell! You killed the head! In the body dies! Like a mulligan! The family does not have a head now. Rhodes, you're all alone, you and Wyndham. The family is all like I'm crying. Cry for the head of the family. To be a king, you have to kill a king. And you see the king himself laying there. Dusty, what's the matter? The head has fallen. You don't have a chance in hell to stop me. The head of the king is mine.
You know, I don't know what it was that Kevin Sullivan used, what type of object that he used on Blackjack Mulligan, but you can tell that there was bleeding profusely from the chest area. The extent of the damage that I have no idea. I'm sure that they will be taking Blackjack Mulligan to the hospital for medical attention.
I certainly hope we can get a report on that very soon. When violence like this is only going to be more violence. I know Rhodes is not going to sit back and take that. That's one of the closest friends he has in the entire world. He's been seriously injured. I don't know what it was that ever occurred. And this program has just been wrecked with action all day long, buddy.
That's right. This has been one of the most exciting programs. So much has happened in the wrestling world. A new world champion, Kevin Von Erich. This confrontation with Kevin Sullivan, Coach.
Things coming up at the Sun Dome on the 19th. It's certainly been a thrill to be here, buddy, with you. So long. Till next week.